Dear students, in this video, I am going to discuss about basic components of laser. That is, if you want to produce the laser, what are the components required for that? Or laser construction, how the laser is constructed. Okay, so now there are three important components are required to produce the laser. What are the three components? The first one is active medium. Okay, and the second one is pumping source, and the third one is optical resonator. So these three components are required to produce the laser light. So let us discuss one by one in detail. So first I am going to discuss about active medium. Okay, so what is active medium? So now you see, this is active medium, the medium in which we are going to produce the laser. So medium may be solid, liquid, gas, dye, semiconductor, etc. Okay, the medium may be solid, liquid, gas, dye or semiconductor. So basically what is the meaning of that? The medium means it should contain the atoms. It should contain the atoms. So the electron transition in the atom is only going to produce the light. So to produce the light we need the atom. So atom, where it will be available? In solid it is closely packed, in liquid it is loosely packed, in gas very loosely packed. Like that we can able to differentiate. So medium means it is the medium, it is a medium in which atomic transition takes place, where the atomic transition takes place to produce the laser. Okay, so now I have given the example also. The medium may be solid, liquid, gas, dye, semiconductor, etc. For example, ruby laser. Okay, ruby laser. So ruby means it is a solid, right? So this is the solid state laser. For example, helium neon laser. What is helium neon laser? Gas. So this is the gas laser. So depends upon the laser, the medium is changing. Okay, ruby means a solid, so it is the solid state laser. So this is the active medium, where the atomic transition takes place, from higher to lower to get the laser light. Okay, so now I hope you understand what is the active medium, right? Next one is pumping source. What is the pumping source? So pumping source means, in the atoms already we know that. Okay, so two energy levels or three energy levels or four energy levels will be there. So the atom should be shifted to the higher energy to achieve the condition of population inversion, right? This is population inversion. So who will shift the atoms from lower to excited state? This pumping source only. So they only supply the energy. The pumping source supplies the energy. By means of supplying, the atoms will be shifted and then it achieves the condition N2 greater than N1. Then stimulated emission takes place. After that, stimulated emission will takes place, and then laser will be produced, this is the chain reaction, right? So the pumping source will supply the energy, so the atoms will be shifted and then it achieves that N2 greater than N1, that is the population inversion. After this it will produce the stimulated emission, then the laser will be produced. So in this way the pumping source is helpful for the laser production. So here also some difference we are having. So depends upon the types of laser, the pumping source is also changing. For example, okay, for ruby laser, it is the solid state laser. Okay, it depends upon the medium. Okay, this is the solid state laser. So for solid state laser we are using that xenon flash lamp, that is optical pumping. By using light we are going to shift the atoms. Okay, and then for helium neon laser, it is a gas laser, right? Here we will use radio frequency oscillator. Okay, so these are the pumping sources. Pumping source. Okay, so depends upon the medium, The pumping source is also changing. For ruby, for solid xenon flash lamp, optical pumping method here. And then helium neon laser, that is the gas laser. For that radio frequency oscillator, the method of pumping is electrical discharge method. Electrical discharge method. So these things already we have discussed in pumping and its method. Please watch the video for the better understanding. I have given that link in the description box also. Right. So now we have discussed about pumping source. So first component required is active medium, and then next one is pumping source, right? The third one is optical resonator. What is the third one? Optical resonator. So what is the optical resonator? So this is actually optical resonator is nothing but we have to consider it consists of pair of mirrors or lens. Okay, for example, here I have mentioned M1 and M2, right? Two mirrors. Pair of mirrors means two mirrors we have to consider. So two mirrors, in between the two mirrors we have to keep the active medium. So active medium means what is that? The solid or liquid, that is ruby or helium neon or anything else. This active medium should be kept in between the two mirrors. In between the two mirrors. So optical resonator setup consists of pair of mirrors. Okay, that is mentioned as M1 and M2. And how the setup should be done to produce the laser? The active medium should be kept in between the two mirrors M1 and M2. And now I am going to explain the specification for the two mirrors M1 and M2. So the M1 is 100% reflecting mirror. 100% reflecting mirror, right? And then M2 is partially reflecting mirror. Partially reflecting mirror. Partially reflecting mirror. That means it will be less than 100%. Less than 100%. Not 100%, less than 100%. So the mirrors will be like this. Why? Because the optical resonator acts as a feedback. Acts as a feedback system in amplifying the laser. Actually, LASER stands for light amplification by stimulated emission of radiation. So already we have discussed about how light is produced and what is the stimulated emission of radiation also we have discussed in the previous videos. But we never discussed about the amplification part. That part can be done by the optical resonator. So optical resonator acts as a feedback system to amplify the light which is emitted by the active medium. So active medium atoms will be there due to the pumping source by energy. Okay, this is pumping source. Pumping source, we are supplying the energy. So the atom will go to the excited state. So after going excited state, it achieves the condition population inversion. Then stimulation takes place. So already I explained one photon become two photon become 4 become 8. 4 become 8, right? So now this 8 photons will come here. Okay, this 8 photons will come, right? What will happen now? The light will be bounced back and forth between the two mirrors. Okay, so this is partially reflecting mirror. It will bounce back. So again the 8 will come and induce 16. Okay, induce 16. 16 will become 32. 32 will become 64 and then it will become 128. So the 128 photons will come here. It will be fully reflected by this mirror M1. Again it will come back in this direction. In this direction again it will be multiplied. So in each and every step that multiplication takes place. So multiplication is nothing but amplification, that is by increasing the intensity of the light. Okay, so what is happening here? The light will bounces back and forth between the two mirrors and hence the intensity of light is increased enormously. Okay, every step it is keep on multiplying. So it is enormously increased. Finally the intense amplified beam called laser, that is laser, is allowed to come out through the partial mirror. So here only gap will be there. It is not 100% reflecting. So through which the laser light will come out. The laser light will come out. So this is the function of optical resonator. So now optical resonator is also known as optical resonating cavity. Okay, different names it is having. So what is that? Once again I will repeat, listen carefully. The active medium is kept in between the pair of mirrors. One is M1 and another one is M2. M1 is 100% reflecting mirror and M2 is partially reflecting mirror. So light is bounced back and forth between the mirrors M1 and M2. Finally, it allows the maximum intensity beam of laser. It will come out from the partially reflecting mirror. So these are the three components which are required to produce the laser light. So there are three components I said. One is active medium and another one is pumping source and the third one is optical resonator. So please watch this video, and if you have any doubt you can ask me in the comment box. Thank you everyone.